Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the Outback Al.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And I'm NV Jitters.
Yeah, Hot for Justice could not join us this week for reasons, and we'll be continuing on without them for this week. We'll probably get their thoughts on the episodes for this week next week. But hey, if you're gonna miss a week, this might have been the one to do it because Copcraft didn't have an episode this week, as it turns out, sort of.
Well,
you know what?
NV, why don't you explain that?
They did a recap episode in Japan.
Yeah.
And basically, a recap episode is what they use to, well, obviously retell the story, but it's also to...
It's a clip show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to a lot to happen with 24-episode shows, not 12-episode shows, so, but...
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're trying for a season 2. That way they're gonna need this at some point. But I feel like they would need it like whenever the season 2 starts. It's a little weird to put it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that means we skip that this week. Or I guess we talked about it this week. Unless we want to just go over the series so far. But I feel like, if you really want that, you should go back and check out all the previous episodes of Anime Yay or Nay. I can't recommend it enough. It's a fantastic podcast. Really check it out sometime. Whatever. We can just move on to Kanata then.
Well, we finally get Char's true backstory, and it's even more heartbreaking than his fake backstory he came up with earlier.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, he's a clone of the king, as we established last episode, and he just kind of grew up in a scenario of like, you're a servant, everything you do is for the king, you're gonna give your life for the king at some point. Also, everything is, you live for this one person and have to do everything that they say. And he kind of grew up in that environment. So now it's just like, when he says kill, you kill. And yeah, everyone's trying to convince him, like, you don't have to kill us. Everything's, you're our friend now. And, you were genuinely enjoying being with us on this trip. And we also learned a little something about Ares, which, Chibi, did you... It was you, Envy, it was you or Chibi
Probably
that
me.
brought up this. So why don't you take the lead on this?
Okay, so where do you want me to start?
I don't know. Wherever it feels right.
Alright, so I'm gonna go way back to a few weeks ago where I was talking about that Tumblr post that I accidentally saw that kind of gave me spoilers, but I didn't completely understand it. Well, okay, so do y'all know the monkey face meme where the monkey's like staring and then he like turns to the camera and is like, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the averting your eyes, kind of. Ooh, I'm guilty.
Yeah. I believe the comment was something along the lines of like something about Char's being her father.
Oh god, I was thinking about that.
And it was like manga, and the caption for like the monkey was like the manga readers. I was like, huh? But now that we've gotten to this point, it makes sense.
Oh, was it like one of those? Was it something like where Kittery was like, "Hey, you should like maybe go out with Chars," and then all the manga readers are like looking away?
No, it was literally just like Char saying something like, I feel like you're like family to me or like a daughter to me, and then they just that's what it was. That was what it was entailing. But anyway,
Okay.
So big thing, turns out Shars, who is the clone of the king, Ares, happens to be a clone of the king's daughter. So the princess.
Sierra.
So technically she is his daughter?
Biologically, yes.
Yes. Actually, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mentally, no. They're friends, but
Yeah.
yeah. People that tried to ship Chars and Ares together, not knowing what happened to the manga, it's like, ooh.
I haven't been shipping Chars with anyone. I knew he was a bad
fanfics
guy.
just got burned.
Well, I didn't really care.
And then it turns out that it turns out that Aries' mother was, even though she wasn't her real mother, it shows why she was the only one that really did care about her kid, because Emma,
Yeah.
she was a handmaiden of Sierra, and she was trusted to care for Ares in away from the kingdom.
Well, to be fair, at the same time, she was also the surrogate who
Oh yeah,
carried
that is
her. So
true.
there was, I think there was like some level of connection there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um, but yeah, so she's a clone of the princess who Charles did have Charles did bring up the backstory of him and Sierra being a thing. He just left out the part about her being the princess and all
And
that
also,
stuff.
how she died, it wasn't completely alive, but
No.
it wasn't quite as how he told it.
She done got assassinated.
She done got assassinated, but she did ended up falling off of a cliff, so
Yeah, and he
long
got blamed
drop.
for it.
Yeah. Got blamed
So.
for it twice.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's going on here, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna kill everyone except for Ares, take Ares back to Earth so she can be the princess, and then I'll go back to space and die. And everyone's going like, the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, basically
No, we're all friends.
Yeah.
it's basically him trying to go against what he was programmed for life to be, just a mindless clone to fill out objective, and everyone's trying to figure out, no, you're more beyond that now. We're all clones, but we've all raised past what our parents, quote unquote, expected us to be. We're our own people now. You can choose whatever you want to be now.
Yeah. Yeah. And at first he's pretty resilient to that idea. But we get to the point where I guess he's realized he can't take everyone out without taking out Ares as well, so he's like, well, at least I can do one thing right. And he pulls out a second wormhole generator
Yep.
with the intent of killing himself with it. But
Kanata,
Kanata-
who ended up fixing his anti-gravity shoes,
yeah, he pulling a full
jumps over the hole and ends up trying to barricade to make sure they're not swallowed up by the thing.
Yeah, after
Ah.
he just punches him right in the face.
Yep.
He went full Kamina today. In the best way possible. But yeah, so he's trying to stop Charles from getting sucked into the hole, or at least sucked into the hole alone. And his hand goes in, and then Charles is like, "Oh no, he's gonna die. I don't want that to happen." And he turns off the hole, but oh
Yeah, he got his arm cut off.
yep.
He got an Anakin.
Yeah.
Dude, Anakin might have had it a little better. At least the lightsaber cauterizes that shit.
Yeah.
At least the wound was cauterized at that
Yeah,
point.
you ever have your hand? You ever stick your hand through a door and suddenly your hand's not there anymore? That's what Kanata's day's been like. Took it like a champ.
even-
though. Gotta
Yeah.
give him that.
Yeah, and even though he's bleeding profusely, he could die from a lack of blood loss. He ends his conversation with Charles with a freaking pun. I need you to be my
Yep.
right hand man.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like,
I
you
saw that.
owe
I'm like,
me.
oh. I'm like, too soon. Too soon.
Is it too soon if it's the guy it happened to, if he's the one saying it? I mean, he's kind of got he's gonna be the judge of what's too soon for that, I think.
My
Oh, yeah.
question though is, in next week's episode, is the rest of the crew gonna forgive him? Like, are they just gonna lock him up until they get back to Astra? Because he did try to kill him.
It's really hard to say. If they already destroyed the other wormhole generator, then they don't really have... He's not too much of a threat. I mean, he could try to do something, but yeah, they could just lock him up in the brig or whatever and not have too much of an issue.
I think at this point, I don't think he'll probably be using it, though.
Nah. No, he's probably on the side of good. I would probably sleep with one eye open if he's not locked up, but that's just me. Maybe they're a little more They're probably a little more trusting.
Well, they all call themselves friends, so I'm assuming with friendship comes trust?
Yeah.
Unless they want to just put it in a metal box and lock it up.
What, the device? No, you gotta destroy that device just in case. But yeah,
Destroyed one of the devices, so there's one left.
No, I'd say destroy the other one too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he destroyed the first one. Then Charles popped the second one, his backup, and I don't know if they broke that one yet. But I would. That'd be like my first thing to do. But yeah, so presumably if next week is the last episode, we're heading back to Earth and resolving what needs to be resolved as far as like putting certain people in jail, putting certain people up to have better lives than they had before, maybe making some new identities for some people, who knows. Figuring out what this giant global conspiracy of we don't know what Earth is. Put that to bed. There's a couple of different things to be put to rest here. I'm kind of wondering, because the first episode was a double episode, like an hour long. I'm wondering if they're going to have that for the end, or if it will just be a 30-minute episode. In either case, I feel like they're going to get everything out, because, like, even the episodes, it's like, most of these episodes are only like 23 minutes or so. You still feel like so much happens in them. Because it does. And, again, I know we've said this before. That's a sign of a great show, where, like, every minute it's like... I've had a lot of shows where I, like...
Nothing is wasted!
Yeah, no moment is wasted in this show. Like, I find myself looking at the timeline a lot on this show, but when I normally look on a timeline for a TV show, it's because I'm like, okay, how much longer is this? Now when I do it, I'm like, oh god, please tell me there's more of this. Oh my god, we're only halfway through. Yes! And I'm like so happy that, like, I still get half of a show left. Because so much is going on. Good show. This is definitely going to be one of my favorites for a while.
Yeah, the show has definitely earned my full confidence. Like, I'm still going to be cautiously optimistic, because they could always mess it up, but I feel like the show is good enough to where they'll fully deliver on its conclusion.
I feel like...
I'm sure it'll be fine, mostly because it's already finished as far as the manga is concerned, so they have their ending.
Okay. So, and I don't know if we know, like, how close we are right now with the manga. I think, like we were talking earlier, we were going pretty close with the entire series of it, right?
The manga's 5 volumes, so...
Yeah.
And how many volumes do we think we've gotten through so far?
We've gotten through at least through 4. We might be into 5 at this point.
Well, I would guess that a little bit. If a volume is like maybe 2 episodes, then yeah, we're probably into 5 already, and we're gonna see Endgame. Here's the thing, I'm hoping, and maybe this is gonna be an issue with the manga if the manga just didn't end well. I don't know, but I feel like there's probably not a lot of deviation. Or if they had to cut some stuff, it was stuff that could be trimmed without having too much issue. So I'm confident that this thing will, at the very least, end the way it's supposed to end. And not, like, give you, like, a cliffhanger, sequel bait kind of thing, or...
They better not.
Anything like that.
Good being concise like it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's so rare to have, like, a really good show that's just, like, it's a self-contained beginning, middle, end, and a payoff. And you don't have to worry about being like, well, when's the next part coming out? Or when's this?
Yeah.
Or doo-ba-doo. It's nice.
Attack on Titan.
Didn't that finish by now?
Yes, it did.
Okay, I have to watch that.
The manga's ending this year, and then the anime is going to end in 2020. So hopefully there'll be a...
Well, when they finish it, I enjoyed the first 2 seasons. Or first season. I don't know how they define it. Episodes like 1 through 24, I enjoyed those.
That was season 1.
Okay, so that just counts as 1?
Yes.
So season 1 I enjoyed.
Yeah,
I
liked season 1 too. I watched 1 episode of season 2. Wasn't feeling it.
to be fair, I read ahead, so I just didn't care.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
So whenever they do season 3, I'll probably watch through season 2, and
They
then
already did
watch
season
season
3.
3, and yeah, and see
Wait.
how that all ends.
When is season 3?
They already finished it. It was 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 2 parts, and season 3 is easily, in my opinion, and many people on the internet's opinion, the best season, especially the second half, because holy crap.
Okay. Hey, if it improves, I mean, like, the show had. I feel like we're getting off topic a little bit, but I will say, like, the show has a couple of pacing issues, but I think that's more reflective of the manga, of just being like,
Yeah.
so much is happening and then nothing is happening, and then so much is happening and then nothing is happening. So it's like it's a little janky when you get into the anime, and it's like that as well. But I mean, hey, I guess you could consider that a good adaptation.
How far
of what
are
happened.
you in the manga, Al?
Oh, I forget. I was reading it wherever they were whenever season 1 was over. I like
Okay.
read ahead to wherever they were at that point. I don't want to
Okay.
say what happened in it. I'm pretty sure it covers most of season 2, if not all
I'll
of
just
season
say
2.
this, and
I
But-
think I've read through season 2,
Yeah.
and I think I might have actually stopped after that.
Okay. I just don't want to
All
say
As far
right,
as I know.
what
without getting
happened
too much
'cause
into
spoilers.
without getting into spoilers, I'll just say this: there's a time skip later in the manga, and
Okay, I did not get to that part then.
season
so.
3 ended right when they got to the time skip.
How
Okay.
far in the future do they go?
Well, season 4 will be when the time skip takes place. It's going to
How
be
many years?
He's getting there.
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
That makes
season
me a little
three-
concerned.
Like season 3, Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin are still 15, and in the and then in the time skip they're going to be 20. And
So I guess
Okay.
none of them died. That's a nice spoiler. Thanks a lot, Envy.
well,
They're
I
the
mean,
Harry, Ron, and
Oh.
Hermione. They weren't gonna die. If they're gonna die, it's gonna be at the end.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: there's a big world build. You'll like this, Chibi. There's a lot of world building in season 3, especially the second half of season 3, where it explains the true nature of the world of Attack on Titan, and it is not what you're expecting at all. That's all I'll say.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can already kind of guess
Yeah, I can kind of guess
because
too.
of where they were going with it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It came
Yeah,
out
we
of
read- we read
it
pretty
came out
ahead.
of nowhere for me.
Yeah, we were.
Really?
Oh, God, I forget. I was at least past like chapter 60 or so.
yeah, I was in like. I was a long
It was
way in
far.
there.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it
whole
was-
new plot lines and all sorts of other stuff was happening.
Hmm.
But
It's hard. It's hard to talk about it because
yeah,
literally
I don't
I
want
talk
to
about it as
say
a
stuff because there
spoiler,
might
so-
be people who haven't watched it yet, or maybe we'll watch it for a later thing. I don't know. I know I'm probably gonna watch it at some point.
I'll admit I'm not a big fan of season 2. Season 2 is only 12 episodes. I'm not a big fan. It had some great moments in it, but I had some pacing issues with it.
Wait. Season 2 is only 12 episodes?
Yeah, that's why
Yep,
I
they-
thought season 1 was season 1 and 2 technically, because
Nope,
if we're going by
season-
12-point series,
Well, they count season 1 as 2 12-episode cores. But yeah, they took a 4-year hiatus from 2013 to 2017, and they only came back with 12 episodes, only to have 2 12-core, with 1 core for season 3 part 1 and 10 episodes for season 3 part 2.
yeah. So I kind of get why they would do that, since it was like a currently airing manga,
Yeah.
and they wanted to give them enough time. That way, it was like they didn't have to do like I don't know, name an anime that caught up to the manga and screw it up.
Black Butler.
Yeah, insert hated ending here.
Ugh.
But
I mean, you can go American
There's-
TV, Game of Thrones.
Well, I heard that was actually going to end how George R. R. Martin wanted it to.
Yeah, but I guarantee you it's not. It's the destination may be the same, but the journey is different. I read the books. I want to see the last 2 books whenever they come out. I'm hoping he doesn't die before they're finished. And I want to read those books.
From what I heard, they went on their own, like, towards the end of season. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Like, I heard they went, like, on their own path, like, at the end of season 7 to season 8, and that's when they ventured books.
Yeah. The books ended. Oh God, it was like around season 5 or 6. And then it was pretty much. I mean, the Martin even said, like, he gave them all the notes of, like, where the story was going to go. He gave them the bullet points. Like, here's your roadmap. But, you know, how well you follow a map and all the little rest stops and detours, and if you're on a road trip, you know, the map is not the whole thing. There's a lot more to a journey than that. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that because here's the thing. The books, he can do whatever he wants. He's not going to be restricted by production stuff. He's not going to be restricted by anything. It's going to be the ending the way that he wanted it, I'm assuming. And who knows? Maybe it'll be worse. I have no idea what's going to happen, or maybe it'll never happen at all. But I can't say everything about the ending was bad. Some stuff in the ending made sense for the characters, and I was actually happy where some of them left off. The problem is the majority of it felt... It's not that they didn't ever foreshadow anything or, like, set anything up, but it was just so rushed to get there that they had to skip over a lot of character development. They had to skip over a lot of the journey of getting to where we were going. And the impact of the final episode loses all of its impact because we don't have any build up to it.
They could have seeded that in a little better.
Well, had they had full seasons for season 7 and 8, we might have had that. Or, again, it could have been worse. I have no way of knowing. We can't start hopping world lines and seeing the alternate realities to find out what it could have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a long tangent, but it kind of leads into a good segue. We're gonna see the last episode of Kanata, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Steins Gate.
You might want to put Al in the thumbnail, Aaron, instead of Kay from Copcraft.
Yeah, why not? Maybe I'll do that. People, all the people watching is like, why was the thumbnail like? Yeah, here now you know. So Steins Gate, we watched which episodes were these? 15 and 16.
15 and 16.
Okay. So we learned about Suzuha. This the Suzuha episodes, yeah. I think we're getting to the point. I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler if I say this, but like we're getting to the point where we're going to be seeing the final bits of character arc for a lot of characters. And this was Suzuha's 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing more as we go into near the end of the series, which is like really where it starts hitting you with like some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Suzuha has a problem with her time machine because it don't work no more. They're saying it was like the day they were having the party for Suzuha, and it was raining. Because of the rain, like the ship broke, so they have to find a way of fixing that. And hopefully, if she can go back in time to like 1975, she can get an IBM 5100, because that was her original mission, because she's from the future, where everything is bad, and we got to know more about CERN. So she goes back, gets the 5100, gets it to them, and then they can save the future from CERN. Chibi, what'd you think about the world building in this episode? Because we keep talking about world building stuff.
Oof.
Yeah.
Just oof.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, turns out Suzuha's from a dystopian future in 2036 where CERN rules the world with an iron fist, and she's part of a resistance to basically save the world.
Yup. The resistance started by Okabe, and Okabe's dead in the future.
Mm-hmm.
How unfortunate.
And she's never met her father, but her father built a time machine for her to go back in the past. And
Yep.
the reason she went
And
back to
now that thing's busted.
yeah, and the whole reason why she was supposed to go back to 1975 to get the IBM 5100, but she decided, you know what? If I'm going to go back and this thing can only go back, and I might as well go see my father. Why not? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they do that. They get Daru involved because apparently he can figure out how to make this thing work again. Maybe he's at least trying to. Meanwhile, they're looking around for the missing daddy, and they have a pin. They're not sure what it is, but they go around looking for it because apparently he was the one who came up with the pin or was part of a club or whatever. And we have a really weird... the joke does not translate as well.
I had to watch the sub
English.
episode 15 because
Yeah.
because of I am mad scientist. It's so cool.
Yeah, so Okabe runs into a black guy, and he assumes that he can't speak Japanese. In the sub, he assumes he can't speak Japanese. So he tries speaking English to him, and the dude's just like, oh yeah, I speak Japanese. You don't gotta be weird like that. That's not an easy joke to translate in the dub, so he just starts talking jive. And if you don't know what jive is, I don't know if I'm the person to explain it to you. Yeah, even the black guy's like, yeah, I don't speak jive. I don't know where he learned it from. Maybe you watched Airplane too many times. If you haven't seen Airplane, go watch Airplane. That's another good one. I feel like half the time on here I'm like recommending movies and stuff for people to watch. But yeah, so trying to find Dad and fixing a time machine and other things. They do fix the time machine. So they do that. And Daru tries to get a pin made like the one that Suzuha got, because he's like, well, what if I just said I was her dad? Wouldn't that make her feel better? And Okabe's like, oh, but that would be a lie. That's some BS, and you can't be doing that to a person. But lo and behold, we learned a little bit about Future Gadget Lab naming conventions and how it's a very poorly made system that Daru came up with, and it doesn't make any sense. And guess how they named the time machine in the future? Same poorly conceived naming convention that Daru came up with. Who else would do it like that? So yeah, Daru is actually Suzuha's father.
And it's up to Detective Mayuri to figure that out of all people.
Yeah, look at her carrying the team on this one. I gotta say, he made it weird.
And then like Okabe and Carissa are like, how did you figure this out? And she does everything logically, and it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, this one's smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she's out there, but she's secretly a genius.
Mm-hmm.
She hangs around smart people enough. She picks up stuff. But yeah, so heartwarming reunion. And Suzuha got to meet her dad. And then she goes back in time. But it was broke. Something else was wrong with it. And she loses her memory in 1975. Doesn't remember until 2010 what she was supposed to do. And she leaves a note for Okabe with Mr. Braun and kills herself.
Oh.
She failed. She failed hard, and she feels bad about it.
It didn't leave much of an impact this time because obviously I've seen it before. But I remember the first time we watched it in Anime Club. That was
if this is your first time.
Rough.
Yeah, it's honestly, if people are going to continue watching this, just know this is going to be this is the heavy side of the show.
Yeah.
Mayuri dies a bunch. Suzuha runs into so many issues. We're in the heavy times right now.
This show, after we get to the breaking point, is no longer fun.
No.
There is no fun to
No.
be had here anymore.
No more silly time travel shenanigans. It's all downhill from here. But it's a good downhill.
Because the payoff, once you get to
Um,
the payoff, is worth it.
yes. Yes, it is. No spoilers, but yes, it is.
I won't, but yes.
But yeah, so Okabe decides to use the phone wave. He's not going to travel backwards in time himself this time. He's going to send a message back to stop himself from stopping Suzuha from coming to the party. That way she completes her mission, goes back to 1975, gets the IBM 5100, gets it to them, and gets it blah, 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 blah. So, because Mr. Braun was Suzuha's neighbor in the past, he comes to him and he's like, hey, what do you know about this old lady that blah blah blah? And he's like, well, I don't know how you knew her, but she was a good person and blah 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 blah. And like, as it turned out, she didn't kill herself this time. Apparently things went well. She got the 5100. She did her thing. She wasn't sure whether it actually changed the future or not, but she did. She just kind of died of old age. She thinks she was only in her 50s though, which is sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they got the oh, what do they call it?
Divergence meter?
The divergence meter, yes. And we're up a 0.1. So we're getting closer to that 1.1% divergence thing that Suzuha was talking about this last episode, where it's like you can change the world line. So far, by fixing things with Suzuha and making sure that she got everything done right, they are now only 60% away from changing the world line and making it so that Mayuri doesn't die, that way CERN doesn't take over the world, and everyone is happy and everything's good.
Yep.
So, that's where we're at.
Yep.
And, we also found out that CERN had, a while ago, put measures in place to monitor in case other people were doing time travel stuff. So that first email that Okabe made put him on CERN's radar.
Yep.
And, so they got to figure out how to fix that from happening, I guess. Not an easy thing to do.
What will our heroes do? Tune in next week.
Yep. Honestly, I didn't remember as much from the first half of the series, but like this is all coming back to me a lot, like the second half. Because again, we mentioned this. The first half is an enjoyable, fun little slice of life thing with a sci-fi twist, and things are fun and whatnot. And you can occasionally kind of go like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But the second half is what really sticks with you in this show,
Yep.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're in. How many times have I said this on this show? We're in the end game now.
We're in the home stretch.
We are. There's how many? Like 8 more episodes?
8 plus the OVA.
Okay. We'll watch the OVA as well, I'm sure. So 9 episodes of this left, and we're gonna see a lot more going down, and the characters you care about, and all their joys and sorrows and everything else. So
Yeah.
get ready for some. If you have watched this, you know what's happening. If you haven't watched this, get ready for some feels.
Grab your tissue box and get some popcorn and a blanket and
Curl up with your cat.
yeah.
And you also realize why Kurisu and Okabe are the best OTP.
Dude, spoilers.
No, I mean,
Like
I
we all
didn't
couldn't see it
gonna
coming.
get together, but
Anyway, what did you guys think on this episode? These episodes, I should say.
Just oof.
Just oof? You can't elaborate on your oof?
It's heavy, man.
It is heavy.
It's hard to explain just like the feels sometimes, especially when like you don't remember that any of this has happened because it's been a long time. I didn't remember most of this.
Really?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of when we watched this.
I haven't watched it since we watched it freshman year of Anime Club. That
God,
was
wait.
6 years ago for me.
Oh, wow. I guess it has been a while.
And I haven't rewatched it since then.
Yeah, some of the next ones are probably going to hit you a little bit harder then. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot it's going to have.
I
Envy, what'd you
know.
think? Because I know you've watched this a couple times.
I mean, this is only my second. This is only my
Really?
second. Yeah, I've been playing one of the spin-off visual novels, and it's basically a collection of side stories that takes place in separate world lines from this one, but it has similar themes to the main anime, and so I'm seeing these constant themes of death and despair, and it's like, oh gosh, why do
Yeah.
they keep me with these feels?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not going to stop, so
No.
we just got to deal with that for now. Any other thoughts?
Not really.
Okay, dope. Well, yeah, we'll be continuing with Steins Gate as well. I mean, we're not dropping it at this point, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for this week. So, next week, the real Copcraft episode 10, the Kanata finale, episode 12, Steins Gate 17 and 18, and since we're going to be losing a show after next week, we'll probably have an announcement for what we're going to be watching come the official fall anime season. I think it's September. I think technically we're in fall at this point, but yeah, we're going to get into what we'll be seeing. We're going to go over, because we're probably going to have one or two shows that we're going to watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really gone through any of them yet, but
We'll
some
have
of
to
them
take
sound interesting.
We'll have to take a look and see what's good and what could be good. Yeah, I mean, again, we're gonna be in that boat of like we don't know what's happening or what's gonna be coming. So, yeah, I guess we'll see everybody then, and thanks for watching. All right, bye bye. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!